Show. I'm Nigelo, and I'm joined by
MXO.
The VAR is here too, showing his face this time.
Welcome back to me. I think I've missed an episode or two, but I'm back. And straight into it. The Springboks play later today. Marx has been ruled out with injury. But they're going to replace him with Henry Pollard. What that does, and I read an article by Nick Mallet Izol. What that does, Nick Mallet says in rugby, there are two specialist positions, hooker and scrum half. If Malcolm is replaced by Henry Pollard, it means that the Springboks will carry on the rest of the World Cup with one specialist hooker in Umbonambi. And then they're going to take a flank in Dion Fourie, and he'll deputize in the hooker position. Nithini na gents, and
Yeah, even me, it's a bit of a worry because also when it comes to the core functions of a hooker during the scrum, it's a big deal, and the throwing of the ball, it's a quiet skill. It's not something you just get. So I am worried. I'm very worried there.
Was the Henry Pollard thing? I figured at some point in the World Cup, someone's going to get injured and Henry's going to get roped in. I figured that would happen because in Henry we believe, it seems. But I never imagined that it would be an injury to Malcolm Marx that would lead to him getting into the squad. One.
Yeah.
Two, we sabaleka isingesi gents. Kanti bendithetha ngenzama idatha.
Yeah, the Malcolm Marx issue is a concern, but I must say I do trust in the coaching staff. Up until now, they've made some decisions that looked to be ludicrous, but they've managed, But
well, I mean, that said, that said, we are one game in. Let's not heap too much praise on management. We one game in. Let's just keep that in mind. So continue with your point.
There's one thing about Mko, he always has the utmost trust in our coaching staff and coaching team. So whether we're one game in, 10 games in, just know he's gonna be about coaching staff made the right decision.
It's the performance, man. It's the performance and the ingenuity they have shown in how they do game management. When they put in their guys, they seem to be top tier in those things. So at the rate they know their players, I must trust that they are making the right decisions. Because up until now, the guys have pulled rabbits out of hats.
They pulled one rabbit. I'll keep pointing this out to you. They pulled one rabbit.
Which was?
They've played one game, Chief.
Okay. No, I'm saying in the way they've maneuvered, the 7-1 split, they've done the things that have allowed us to win, So to a certain extent, I have to trust, and they know their players. The guy that they've chosen, I think he could pull it off in general play, but I'm very worried about the scrumming because it's a very specific area to scrum in, and also the throwing of the ball. If we lose those opportunities, it's going to be a huge blow. It's even going to be more hectic than not having a fly half,
You guys keep talking as if we don't have another hooker in Mbonambi. Can't you do all these things you seem to be applauding Malcolm Marx for?
No. Mbonambi is great.
Look, he's not as dynamic as Malcolm. Let's be clear. I mean, Malcolm in breakdown play, Malcolm in carrying carrying the ball. I don't think Umbonambi is as as good at those areas as Malcolm is. The fundamentals, scrummaging and throwing into the line out, I think they're on par. They're the same in my mind. But those two aspects, I think Malcolm is a slightly ahead of Mbonambi in my mind. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about, now that they're bringing in Handré Pollard, supposedly, it's not official yet, I don't think, but the talk is that they're bringing.
It hasn't been made official. They said they will review this game and make a decision after Romania versus Springboks.
I agree with them. They must see how this plays out. They mustn't rush. And another thing is, will another opportunity arise, let's say, if they really believe in Pollard to slip him in, perhaps not. And the other fear you talked about, where you were asking about Mbonambi, why are we not trusting Mbonambi? Now Mbonambi is solid, is very solid. My only issue is yes, he's extremely solid. My only issue is if a player at the level of Malcolm Marx, who's as physical as Malcolm Marx is, got injured. I know Mbonambi is even harder, but like it's clear that injuries are something that could happen. And if we lose Mbonambi, what next? Who's next?
Let's look at the squad against Romania. Okay, Mni, just give us your point, and then we'll look at the squad.
The other thing I wanted to talk about with the whole Handré Pollard coming in is, what does this translate to for Manny Lebok, who is the incumbent number 10? Does it mean that Handré plays second fiddle to him, or does Handré slip straight into the number 10 jersey and relegate Manny Lebok, who was man of the match just by the by in the previous match? How does that play out? It's something I think to look forward to.
Yeah, I think they're gonna let Umani run things, and Pollard fits in after Manny. I don't think they're gonna change that. I don't think so. If they change that,
the big matches.
Yes. Like let's say when we start feeling good about our positioning, then we put in someone who can even put in the scoreboard pressure. I think that's what's gonna happen.
But if you start feeling good about your positioning and what you just said, and then you drop the guy who's carried you all along to bring in someone new, what does that say to the guy who's got the jersey now?
No, I think in the Springboks over the years, mostly during Rassi's term, it's been a 23-man squad. I think no one's sensitive about getting changed, as long as it's within the strategy and pre-discussed strategy of the team. I think they're fine with that. If you hit those litmus marks, then they're okay with getting changed.
I think even with Rassi, I think they are golden boys in the team. And this is why I make the point about Pollard. If Pollard is fit, my feeling is that he's going to be the blue-eyed boy who's going to play the big matches and relegate Manny Lebok to the bench. And Manny has carried this team this whole season. Now the blue-eyed boy is just in for the World Cup. That stinks for me. If that's
exactly why I think. That's why I think it's not going to happen. I think they've also recognized that Manny has carried the team, and he's brought in an undeniable dynamism with how the backs are playing. I don't think they don't see that, and I think they know that Andre is a confidence player, and he needs to get played into the game. He's not someone you can just drop him in and go with it.
What do you make of the squad? Because I think there are 14 changes, and who has been retained from the last match day 15 or starting 15 from the last match against who are playing in the first match?
Scotland. I think the only starter that I can see is Damien Willemse from the previous match.
Positions, right?
Yeah, he played fullback and he's now at fly-half. But the glaring thing to me with this squad, this 3-man squad, is that they've picked 4 scrum halves. 4 scrum halves.
I'm sure
I
Emeka
think there's
would have
something they
something
want to
positive to say about that selection.
Yes, I think there's some stuff they want to test, you know. I think I have a feeling that we might see a few surprises. I wonder who's gonna swap with Damien Willemse after. Are they maybe gonna put Faf there? I don't know, you know, because they spoke about that. Also, by looking at a person like in the reserves, man, Williams, he's definitely
Grant
probably
Williams.
gonna, he's probably gonna be a wing option as well. So
But
they're
he's
looking
not
for a
Starting
part.
on the wing.
He's not
Look
there.
at
Hey?
the squad. You're starting on the wing.
Yeah, he's starting. Grant Williams is 14.
Yes. So he's on the wing already, and you can see by the other selections like Ukwaha and Uvilimse at fullback, they tend on playing a very fast game. I sense they're gonna play a fast game. It's gonna be quick ball. Yeah, it's not gonna be like celebration rugby, but it's gonna be faster than the Springboks we know.
Look, ultimately, I think this match gives them an opportunity to score many points because I think
Yes.
this group will be decided. The 1 and 2 will be
Yes.
decided by the points difference. And as much
Yes.
as this is a Romania game that they can take lightly, I think they can't take it too lightly because depending where they want to finish, if they want to finish top of the log or of the pool, then they need to put a big score on Romania.
Let's talk about the controversies then that came up. If you look at the script there, it's the strip there. There's no Springbok. It's the Rugby World Cup emblem. It's the Proteas. It's the Nike logo. And people were throwing a fit. You know how these South Africans can be sometimes. These big-time Springbok fans. They're going on about what is happening. Where's the Springbok? What's happening with this new kit?
Let's be clear. Who complained? Let's start there. Which sector of the population complained about the Springbok?
Me is asking a question here. Who complained about the Springbok not being there? Maybe you can just give us a background, MX. So why is the Springbok logo not on the
Oh
script?
yes. It's insane for me that they're only noticing this now. Every World Cup we have this problem.
For sure.
The Proteas badge is the national badge that all teams use when they go
Correct.
into games that are at the level of the World Cup. And then you can have one sponsor, which is Nike, and then obviously the next badge is the organization.
No.
All.
Let's be clear. You can't have a sponsor. Nike is the apparel provider, so they will brand their stuff, but you can't have a sponsor on the jersey.
Yeah. So it's as old as I remember 3 World Cups where this was an issue. Yeah, people have amnesia. They have amnesia.
Okay, we've sorted that one out. We're signing out in a minute 30 seconds. What happens versus Romania? Are we going to surpass that scoreline between Romania and Ireland? Or are we going to come off short?
Ireland was 80 past them. Ireland was 80 something odd. Look, we'll do well to get to 100. I don't think it's going to be that kind of party, but we need a big score if we want to finish top of the pool.
Yeah. And another thing,
dynamic. Would you rather play New Zealand or would you rather play France in the quarters?
I think we're trying to avoid France. I have a feeling that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, in New Zealand, and it's there for the taking.
No, not really. It's just that you know the dynamics that start changing when you're playing in a World Cup in the home country against the home team. You know, there are some dynamics that the ref won't see because there's so much pressure coming from the crowd and things like that. I think we're trying to avoid that.
Look, I don't think there's an easy quarterfinal either way.
Yeah.
But to your point, I think they'll do well to avoid the home nation in the quarters. Well, I mean, France in France is going to be a big ask in my mind.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. That's where we should end it. Rabi, World Cup 2023. Springboks versus Romania at what time?
It's a 3, Chief. Kickoff is a 3.
Central African time. So you'll do the maths to find out what time it starts in your own region.
Yeah.
Get the prize out. Like, subscribe, share. Yonke la mfitshi.
Rugga Muffin podcast.